What's going on, NBA 2K fans? It's Pete Toll, aka PT Sports 84, back with another NBA 2K25 video. Today's video, we have a new NBA 2K25 patch, which now adds a lot of player likeness updates. We're going to go over all of it here in this video. Quick disclaimer. The roster update officially from 2K for today has not dropped yet. Usually they drop it around 9:30 Eastern or so, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, I should say. When that drops, there's going to be a couple players that were on the patch notes that should get updates based on that because they'll have to manually add their IDs into the game. Those players are Quentin Jackson of the Indiana Pacers, along with Nate Williams and Jermaine Samuels Jr. of the Houston Rockets. Those three players will have to be manually added by 2K. Now, there's another one, Jalen Bridges, who plays for the Phoenix Suns. He has a player scan added into the game, but Jalen Bridges is not officially on the roster yet. He's under contract for Phoenix, but 2K did not add him, so until likely opening night rosters when 2K updates them, we will see Jalen Bridges with his official face scan. Once that happens, I'll highlight him in my opening day roster video that I'm going to do on Tuesday of next week, which is October 22nd. So just quick disclaimer for anybody wondering why they were in the notes and they weren't in this video. But without further ado, let's jump in. I'm going to go team by team and highlight some really quick. There's a few players that 2K added the faces back in for that were in previous 2Ks that they did not put in the patch notes. So diving into the modern era, we're going to go to the free agent pool really quick. I'm going to alphabetize this and then go actually backwards really fast because I want to show a couple of these. First up, Jamias Ramsey. You know his face. If you know the roster, you know his face was taken out. Face scan is back in. That's his official face scan. So Jamias Ramsey, I think me personally, just based on preseason play, he's been the better player for Toronto to make that final roster spot over Bruno Fernando, but because Toronto needs size, it might be that Fernando makes it. Also added back in face-wise, I know a lot of people had asked about him, and they did add it back in. Sharif Cooper, he's playing overseas this year, but they did add Sharif back in with his face scan. Of course, he had it previously in 2K22, I believe, and they added him back in. But let's jump into the actual official update. So first up for the Philadelphia 76ers, Andre Drummond got a hair dynamic update. So let's go through so you can see the different looks of Drummond. So as you can see, Drummond's got a new look there, hairstyle 1. So that's in there. Ersan Yabusele has his official face back in NBA 2K. They had removed it, but now they've added it back in. That's his official face. Can't get much better than the official scan. So glad to see that back in, that we don't have to have a cap face for him in the game. So that's the 76ers. Milwaukee Bucks, we got Gary Trent Jr. He got a hair dynamic update. And that basically, the hair dynamic updates means that the hair moves. As you can see, we'll go through. There's multiple looks for him. So as you can see, multiple styles for him. So pretty much anything you would want style-wise for Gary Trent, just in case he changes his look throughout the season, which is totally possible. I did forget Kelly Oubre. I was looking at the top of the list. Kelly Oubre got an update here. So they say that he got a dynamic update. I'm going to guess it's based on this one here, Style 4, that they updated him. So it looks like they played around with the headband size. They got the facial hair there. You got the early Kelly Oubre still on there. So I always like whenever they do the updates and they keep the original faces. So we also have, some other players throughout that have multiple styles. So keep an eye on as you're going through the roster to make sure that you're looking at going through the accessories tab and then changing if there is availability for that, person's look, that you're changing the different looks there for each of them. I did want to test out really quickly. Let's see if Bobby Portis. Okay, so they have the ability to take off the goggles. They just got to change his appearance as the default one. Next up in this one is Kobe White for the Chicago Bulls. As you can see, different look for Kobe White. So he's got different looks throughout. And it looks like he's got tattoo updates. Maybe I'm mistaken, but it looks like he's got tattoo updates. But you got the likeness updates for him. Different looks there overall. I was hoping that we would have got an update for Andre Batum or any of the other guys that were missing faces, but we did not, unfortunately, get anything for them. So let's move on to the next team. I believe, if I'm correct, when they add Luke Travers in on Tuesday, he will have a face scan. Luke Travers currently not in the game, but they did get a face scan added for him in NBA 2K23. And it was an official scan, so we should see an official scan, I hope, on Tuesday once he's dropped into the game officially. I cannot confirm that, but I think there's a pretty good chance that he is going to get in with an official face scan. So going over to the Boston Celtics, we have Baylor Shireman. He got a tattoo update, as you can see right there. For him, we unfortunately did not get Anton Watson yet with a face scan in the game. Hopefully that's coming at some point. I know they did scan him, so hopefully that'll be in the works at some point very, very soon. I did forget another one. AJ Johnson got a tattoo update. I usually try not to cover the tattoo updates a ton, but being that it's rookies, you can get a general idea. There's his tattoo update for him. Didn't want to forget anybody. Being that it's the first update of the season, it's always good to try to cover everything. Tyler Smith. One thing 2K didn't really do well is they categorized them alphabetized, but I would have liked to have seen them just alphabetized without splitting the categories up, and then put next to it what kind of update it was. Tattoo update for Tyler Smith. They got to fix the shoes before Tuesday as well. Hopefully we get a shoe update that assigns the proper shoes to each player, because that's well needed, obviously, for anybody that are appearance heavy users. So we got the Clippers. We did get a face scan added in for Cam Christie. We know he got scanned because they showed it on the social media page of the Clippers. Also, at the same time, Trenton Flowers got a scan, but Trenton Flowers is not in the game yet. So I'm hoping once Tuesday comes, they have an official scan added for Trenton Flowers, and then we'll be able to just assign that as needed for him. So I just want to double check myself to make sure, because they don't really have it in order. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody on the Clippers here at all. So looks like I got everybody there for the Clippers. We got Cam Spencer for the Memphis Grizzlies. Good official scan there. It was actually hard to make Cam Spencer look authentic with the cap creator. So always good that we can get the official scans in there, especially when a player doesn't come out quite as we wanted them to in the cap creator, which some people say it's good, some people say it's eh. No scans for the Atlanta Hawks, unfortunately. I was hoping Krejci would have got one, or a couple of those other guys would have gotten one in this update, but they did not. Nothing for the Atlanta Hawks. So going over to the Miami Heat, they didn't really have anybody outside of Drew Smith that needed one so far, but we didn't get one for Drew Smith, so nothing technically for the Miami Heat either. LaMelo Ball, he got a tattoo update again. No telling where his tattoos would have been added since he has so many. I'll let the sleuths of the game that know the tattoos better than I do find that tattoo. But we've got a official face scan in for KJ Simpson, and he also has tattoos assigned right there as well. So that's a good scan. KJ was hard to make as well in the cap creator. So like I said, it's always good whenever we can get official face scans in the game for players. We have nothing added in for the Utah Jazz. The Sacramento Kings don't look like they have any updates as well. They got to do a roster update before Tuesday, at least do some cleanup. I don't know that they will, hopefully, but we'll see. Jalen Brunson is on the list, and Jalen Brunson got a hair dynamic update. So that basically means his hair moves in different ways, as you could see there. Let's see. So he has the different styles as well. So you have different options that you could pick for Jalen Brunson. Moving on. Sad news about Landry Shamet with the dislocated shoulder last night. That was tough to see. He was playing well. Looks like probably TJ Warren will end up making the team now. Pacome Dadiet gets an official scan. As you can see, the hair dynamic update as well to his scan. Sadly, Kevin McCullough and Ariel Hukparty don't get one. Those two were actually scanned at the same time as Dadiet, so I don't know why that is. And then they still got Bates Jop, though he was traded in the Towns trade. They still have him assigned incorrectly, so that's something that they'll have to fix. We go over to the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James got a tattoo update. No telling where the tattoo is. I'm not going to remove all his accessories and stuff like that. I'll let you guys figure out where that tattoo is on him, and then maybe somebody can screenshot it and post it. No other updates for the Lakers. So we go over to the Orlando Magic. Cole Anthony with another freaking update. It's like, how many updates? Like, Cole Anthony gets updated like more than a lot of players, but it was a needed update, obviously, for the updated hair. But it seems like some players never get updated and some players kind of get overcorrected, per se. So there's that. That's it for the Orlando Magic. Not a ton to go over for them. Just looking really quick. Melvin Aginsa's rights are held by the Dallas Mavericks. So he actually has a scan added, but because he's not added in the game, he is not going to show anywhere, obviously. So for anybody wanting him, 2K would have to officially add him on console for you to receive that update. So then moving on further, we have an update for Dennis Schroeder. and his is actually a general hairstyle. Obviously, you could see the updated hairstyle for him because that's what it looked like before. So there's his update, and it looks good. So there's that. Moving on, the Denver Nuggets. Doesn't look like, I'm just double checking, doesn't look like we got anybody for the Denver Nuggets. Unfortunately, they're missing all three of their two-way guys. In Trey Alexander, PJ Hall, and Spencer Jones. So those guys should be added Tuesday once rosters are officially locked in over the weekend. Going over to the Indiana Pacers, Johnny Furphy. I don't know how they said like a scan was added. I assume they already had Furphy in. I remember him having a face scan in, so I think that was just an incorrect. Maybe they updated it. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. Enrique Freeman did not receive an update, even though he was scanned at the same time as Tristan Newton, who did get an update. So good to see Tristan Newton, part of that, part of the UConn team that won multiple titles. So good to see him in the NBA. Like I said earlier at the beginning of the video, Quentin Jackson will have to be manually added as his appearance tab is unlocked, which means they have to go in and add him by hand. For that, going over to the Pelicans, we have another one that was not highlighted in the patch notes. Carlo Matkovic gets an update. I think that Matkovic looks spot on. Great to see his scan in. He had been scanned in 2K23 as well. So good to see that they remembered to add him in. We have an official scan for Antonio Reeves as well. So as you can see, official scan for Antonio Reeves. We have more updates here for the Detroit Pistons. So moving down, Paul Reed got an update. He got the general update. It looks like some tattoos, general likeness. Did they lighten him? I think they lightened him also. It looks like. Yeah. So if you look at it, it's the hair, obviously. But I thought it looked like they lightened his skin tone. Maybe they didn't. But that's an updated look for him. Of course, looking to see, making sure I don't miss anybody else. Bobby Clintman got an official scan. As you can see, glad they added him because the weird hair in as well. Donis Jenkins will have to be added, but by 2K once the roster update comes out on Tuesday. So then we go over to the Toronto Raptors, and we get Jonathan Mogbo in with an official scan. So they have two different looks. They got the short hair, and then they got the longer hair there as well. So multiple looks for him. Like I said, Jamias Ramsey, he's in training camp with them. So if he makes the team, he now has an official scan. Moving on, Houston Rockets. The Rockets changes in N'Faly Dante. He'll have to be added manually Tuesday as he's on a two-way contract. And like I said, Samuels and Nate Williams will have to be manually added. They'll have to assign their IDs in accordingly. Then we have next up, we have San Antonio Spurs, and it doesn't seem like they're going to have any updates. I think Riley Minix makes the Spurs as a two-way contract guy. I think he's looked great as basically a stretch four option for them. They have some decisions to make as far as who starts where and things like that. For those unaware, previous Harrison Ingram was added. His face scan was already on. the game. But if you have the default rosters, you may not see him in there, but he's there. Moving to the Phoenix Suns, their change, of course, is Jalen Bridges, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Jalen Bridges is not in the game yet. He'll be added Tuesday. And once he's added Tuesday, that means that he will have his official scan in. If he's added sometime later today, I'll just do another video really quick and kind of go over everything. I did miss Stephon Castle. He got a general hair dynamics update. So basically his hair moves now. These hair dynamic updates drive me nuts with it's just their hair moves around and stuff. But I guess, it's something. Moving over to the OKC Thunder. Aaron Wiggins gets a hairstyle update, of course, added to him. So now you have that option to go with this longer hair, and you get a headband option that was needed as well. So good to see that in the game. So then we get Dylan Jones, their draft pick, has played well so far. He gets his official scan with the hair dynamic updates as well. So good to see him in. Nikola Topic had got an update previous with his official scan in. Before it was a hand-drawn 2K version. So this is now the official version in the game as well. So good to see that. Anthony Edwards got a looks like a tattoo update. So as you can see over there on his forearm, he got a tattoo added in. No ability to wear a headband if he wanted one, though, so that's a bummer, but is what it is. I'm just looking through to see, making sure I don't miss anybody. Rob Dillingham, he gets a hair dynamic update. As you can see, the hair moving there. I don't remember if he had tattoos, but there's tattoos as well. Then we also get a official face scan for Terrence Shannon Jr. So I knew he had got scanned at Summer League, so was waiting on that one. Glad to see that he got added in officially. So there's that. We go over to the Portland Trail Blazers. So there's I always like looking at Scoot Henderson because he's got the goggles on. Delano Banton gets a hair dynamic update as well. As you can see, they kind of changed the hair a little bit. It's updated there. No other changes for them. It looks like Devontae Graham's going to make the roster, so they got to figure out some other stuff for him as well. I mean, for the roster, if he's going to make it. Let's see. Just making sure. Miss anything? Okay. Warriors, they'll have to add Quentin Post in. I believe he's going to have a scan in the game, hopefully. And then we'll see what happens there with that update. So then, last but not least, the Washington Wizards. We get an update for Carl Carrington. I don't notice anything different. Maybe you guys do. I'm guessing hair update. I don't know. It says that basically he was added in with hair dynamics. I guess the little ponytail moves, so they count that as a hair dynamic update or whatever. But those are the kind where it's like, okay, really, we're making a video. I mean, we're making a render for that, but it is what it is. I'm going to jump over really quickly to the Steph era because I want to check one thing really quick. We did get Jordan Crawford added back in. That's what I wanted to see. Jordan Crawford's added back in with his official scan, even though it's the crusty old scan from the last gen. It's added in the game. Gary Neal gets added back in with his crusty scan from the old game. That's terrible. It's too dark and it looks really, really bad. I wanted to check those because I was curious to see if they had added those in or not, and they did. And I wish they would have updated them. Honestly, that would have made more sense. We didn't get an Andrew Guadalock scan added back in. They have him on in the old files as well, but they didn't add him. Okay, that's pretty much. I went the wrong way. That's okay. Let's go back this way. Trying to look and see if there was anybody that sticks out as guys needing a scan that would have gotten added back. I don't think so because everybody else would have had one as far as that roster goes. Let's look at the LeBron era. See if we get anything. Let's go to the free agent pool really quick. I mean, they don't really have anybody in the free agent pool, so that was kind of a waste there. Wafer already had a scan. Just looking to double check, making sure. Obviously, Crawford's going to have the same crusty ID assigned there. That's something that 2K has to put on the list. Get rid of those old scans. I wonder if Francisco Elson got one. Yep, there's Francisco Elson's updated scan. So there's his official face in there as well. So I know he had gotten a render update last year. They added that back in, so that's good to see. In the update, just looking really quickly, because I know we had some faces that weren't necessarily added. I don't remember if Johan Petro had his face added in previously or not, but it's there. Gary Forbes. Yep, there's Gary Forbes. He has his official face added in. So that's good. Juan Summers was already in. Marcus Banks have his. Yep, there's Marcus Banks. He got his face added back in as well. So good to see Marcus Banks back in with the official scan. Yeah, some of the faces they really need to update from last gen. That would be nice. Double checking. Looks like everybody else was already in. We're going to jump over to the Kobe era, making sure we don't miss anybody. Rick Brunson was already in. I don't remember if we're missing anybody that had their scans like kind of removed from the game for the Kobe era, but I just want to go back through and just look through some of the faces just in case we had somebody that was missed or something like that that they took out from last year. Because when they pulled the files out of the game this year, they didn't do a great job of double checking who they needed for each of the eras, which was kind of like, wait, what? Like, why would you take that player out, if they're already in? But they didn't do a good job of double checking who they needed for each of the eras and stuff like that. So it was kind of a bummer there. Some of them they took out because they didn't want to have any licensing issues. I understand that. But players that were already in the game that were eligible, they took them out, unfortunately, and had some issues there. One thing that I would like to see also is some of the players have their renders in and their faces are different skin tones than they should be. So I would like to see some of those updated accordingly. They still did not add in Chris Whitney Because his appearance tab is open. So they'll have to add him in. His face is actually on the disc, so they'll be able to add him in manually whenever they finally do a roster update for these. Also, they're missing Michael Curry. They'll have to add Michael Curry in a future patch. He didn't get fixed. Just looking. Doesn't look like anybody else. Yeah, we won't know a lot for the eras until they do a roster update. Eventually, I hope for the eras, and we'll get more stuff added in. But until then, who knows what they plan to add and not add in? We'll have to see where they go with what faces they plan to update and all that good stuff. There's no telling when it comes to who they plan and who they are not planning on and all that good stuff overall. But like, I know for a fact that like Darnell Jackson and Lazara Hayward and guys like that will be in eventually. It's just a matter of, are they going to add them in? I know we were missing from the Jordan era. I believe he's on the Pistons. Yeah, Charles Thomas got added, but Carl Thomas is his twin brother, and they didn't have him in. See, that's just lazy on 2K side, honestly. They're twin brothers. It's easily able to add in, but they chose not to there. Let's see if Joe Wolf, rest in peace to Joe Wolf. Joe Wolf got his official scan in. There he is. He's got the little mullet in the back as well. Glad to see him properly represented in 2K with the official scan. So looks like all I had as far as notes who was missing for the Jordan era. Let's see if they touched up Carl Herrera's face. Nope. Still that weird fake beard look for him. Going through the Bird Magic era. So we have still some missing players to add in to the game. Let's see if they updated George Johnson. They did not. Still the wrong George Johnson info. Should be Dillard College, but that's okay. Dallas Mavericks. Did they update Elston Turner with the scan? Nope. Elston Turner still has his generic face. And then Walker Russell was the last one I had as far as the scan there. Nope. Generic as well. But he has the appearance tab, so if they add the ID in, then they'll be able to update him accordingly there. But that's pretty much it. Let me go back really, really quickly. I want to check 2 coaches that I missed to see if they got their scans in. Nope, Scott Skiles is still the same. So that's disappointing. And then if they updated the ID, which I doubt, what would he be in? He would be in the Kobe era too, I think. Let's see. Nope, he wouldn't be Kobe era. It'd be, I guess, LeBron era. Nope, still the same for Larry Drew. He has an official face in the game as a coach. 2K has to add him in That's just 2K again, not really staying on top of things like they should necessarily. But it is what it is, I guess. Moving over to the WNBA, there's a lot of different scans added in. So let's run through them and see who we have. So Kate Martin got her official scan. There she is, as well with the longer hair. They really need to do another update, but I don't know that they're going to do it now that the season is over, but it is what it is, I guess. So I'll have to go through each of the lists. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. I'm going to put it in alphabetical order so I know where to find players, because unfortunately, I don't know all of the players on what team they're on off the top of my head. There's Aaliyah Boston. Leah Boston got the hair dynamic update, so her hair moves. I think Kelsey Mitchell. No, it was Erica Wheeler that got one. I knew there was another player for the Fever that got one. She got hair dynamic update. Obviously, the little bit of hair she has at the top in the back moves. So they count that as a hair update. Marquisha Davis, hair dynamics update as well for her. And Brianna Stewart, hair dynamic update for her. Her hair moves in the back. Bridget Carlton, same thing. Hair dynamic update. Let's see. I think that's everybody there on the links. So moving over to Charisma Osborne. Hair dynamic update for her. We have, the rosters are just outdated, honestly. So I wish they had done one more roster update. But it is what it is. Let's see, going through. Sug Sutton got her hair. It moves in the back, as you can see. Diamond Shields. So as you can see, hers updated pretty quickly, like whenever it went through. Like as soon as you add, like see how it updated with multiple looks there. Trying to see who else I'm missing. They don't really have it categorized. I would have split it personally with the WNBA. I would have split the list up, but that's just me. Crystal Dangerfield has a hair dynamic update. Thought I saw somebody else, but Ray Burrell. She got a scan or a tattoo update, excuse me. So she got a tattoo update. There you can see on the back of her arm. And was looking to see Jordan Horston. Hair dynamic update for her. And sure I don't miss anybody. I'm going to have to go back through and figure out. Let's see. Making sure, because it's such a pain going through these, that they're not categorized better. Where was Suggs Sutton? Right there. I missed Suggs Sutton. I thought maybe I got Suggs Sutton. I don't remember. But let's go to all players and just sort really quick. They don't even have pouch in the game, so that's interesting. So she is actually not in. It's weird that they would have added her. So they added her in the game, but she hasn't played in the WNBA. She was selected by the Dream, and they added her face in. So I guess they scanned her at some point, and because she's not in the WNBA, obviously they can't add her. But if somebody wanted her in, eventually her face will be there when she's added into the game. We have Natasha Mack. She got a tattoo update, as you could see right there. And then just making sure Micaiah Harrigan. She is not in. Micaiah Harrigan. I don't see her in. She is not. So let's see. Oh, Herbert Harrigan. That's why. She's right there. Duh. If I would have just went up a little more. She got an update as well with the hair. So there's that. And let's see. Just double checking. That looks like that's everybody I got covered that's in the update. So we have one last one to cover on the men's side. So if we go back to the Steph era and we go back to the New Orleans Pelicans, we can go to Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis got a update, it looks like, with the tattoos. So when you do the update here, see how the tattoos are limited compared to right there. I wish they do that for more players. Like JJ Redick, take his tattoos off for the lesser version because Redick didn't get the tattoos until later, or the sleeve until later. Like guys like that, paying attention to across the board. But that's it basically for this video. Like I said, lots of player likeness updates. We did get one more. I don't want to leave them out. Got a Kemba Walker update, which is a general hairstyle or likeness update for Kemba. So having the shorter hair Kemba, that's it. So that'll do it for this video. If you guys like the video, please hit the thumbs up. Once 2K drops an official roster update, I'll have another video out covering anything that's in there that's not in this one as a part 2. So please tune in for that if you see that video pop up on the feed. Make sure you like the video, share this video. Also, subscribe to the channel as well. Hope everybody enjoyed this video. I'll be back with more on Tuesday with the official opening night roster. And please take care.